you've said that there's still an ego, but it's only to the degree that keeps the body alive in this world. In other words, when you're enlightened, I mean, is that true for all enlightened beings, that the ego still functions just a tiny bit in order to know when to go to the bathroom, and that your hand is in the fire and it's burning, etc.? Or do enlightened beings who have, more people tending to them, do they even lose that little bit of ego?
To a certain degree, they have permission to even move further, because there's people around them who are taking care of everything, like eating and this and that. Baba's guru, Nityananda, he wore basically, I think he wore diapers. I don't know, but I know they look like diapers. Maybe he knew, I don't know how much. I know that they had to really force him to eat, or he wouldn't bother, you see. But he had people who would do that. And if he didn't, right, and he was like that, we would never have heard about him, because he just wouldn't have survived.
Right.
So there's that. But Ramesh had this really good way of distinguishing the mind. He said there's the working mind and the thinking mind. The working mind is the mind that tells you what you need to do to get to work by 9. Okay, all the things you need to do. There's a whole process. You have to take a shower. You have to get your clothes on. You have to get in your car, drive it, and all this, and time it, and get to work by 9. That's the working mind. Okay, the thinking mind is the one that's thinking about all this extraneous stuff. How am I going to do? This should be a good day at work. I hope I do well. I wish I didn't have to deal with so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And then all those thoughts get engaged with. And, then you have the thinking mind. That's pure ego. But there is a functioning mind. All of the enlightened beings I've met answered to their names. Okay, so there's some connection. There's something there. Even Ramana, if someone said Ramana, he would go, yes, okay. So, and he's the highest of the high. So that part remains as a functioning part of the human body, and there's still conditioning that tells you not to put your hand in the fire. Okay, and that continues. But that's not the part of the mind that's a true ego that distracts you from the truth. That's just the functioning mind protecting the body, keeping the body safe, and making sure everything rolls along in your life. Ramesh still went to his desk and he took out his checkbook and paid his bills. He still took care of the basics of the family, taking care of the family, taking care of, the finances and all that. He was a banker after all, you see? So that continues, but there's no one personally connected with anything. Still, there's a conditioning that you recognize when your name's being called, and the pleasantries of conversation. You know what to say and what not to say, that sort of thing. But it's all automatic. It's all taken care of. So, but what the difference is, those thoughts that you engage with in your daily, no one engages with them anymore. No one gets involved with any of that. So that part is totally gone. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but so all the people like, I just blanked out, but like Amma and Baba, all of those who had these big, huge organizations and lots of people and all these details and building buildings and all that stuff. Well, yes, they had other people to do it for them, but they had to direct those people. Half the time they were there. It seemed like their working mind was laying it out for other people to do. So was that was just the working mind?
That was just the working mind, indeed. Indeed, yes.
So
And
that's the mind that comes sort of with the body as its survival, its built-in survival mechanism. And then all the thinking mind and the mind that gets caught in this and that and the illusion and the delusion, all of that, that's like that's almost like each person's karma in a way, would you say? How their thinking mind goes off? I mean, because for some it's very quiet and for some it's like takes over their whole life.
yeah, but you understand, for the ones who it takes over their whole life, the level of involvement is deeper.
Mm-hmm.
The level of engagement with those thoughts is deeper. And now that may be karmic, but nonetheless, there is, when you don't engage, when you don't get involved with those thoughts, then they just come and they go, just like in meditation. Okay, so the example that Ramesh gave was the yogi and the bogey.
Mm-hmm.
And so a bogey may have a thought, and then they get engaged with that thought, they get involved with it, and then other thoughts come and more thoughts and more thoughts. Now, a yogi has the same exact thought, but no one takes delivery of it. No one gets involved. So it just comes and it goes. Whereas the bogey is still involved with that thought. And now they've created all these other thoughts around it, and they're not feeling very comfortable anymore. But a yogi has the same thought, and it never interferes with his level of peace, you see? Because no one gets involved with it. No one takes delivery of it, okay? And so someone who's got this real intense thinking mind is really intensely involved with their thoughts, and they think that they're their thoughts, and they've taken delivery and ownership, you see? And so then it becomes a big deal, becomes difficult.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
And so, I'm having an experience where it's like layers and layers of those thoughts, and I can feel how it's like twisted into a knot, and I can feel the knot, and I feel the awareness of the knot and all the thoughts and the compression of that and the emotions that come from that. So what's the best thing to do? Just observe it?
Because it's a knot, what that implies to me is an absence of love. So ideally, okay, a thought arises and no one gets involved with it. Ideally, a thought arises and it just subsides. But because you have a knot there, it tells me that there's a deeper pattern which has within it this sense of an absence of love. So in this particular case, I would find the love that can embrace everything, and also recognize that that sense of separation is very strong within that particular scenario because of conditioning. Okay, so basically, there's more for you to love, and when and this is a good example, you see, for you. This shows you where your self-love is not complete. Now, when I described the enlightenment, the so-called enlightenment, it was that I had come to peace with myself, you see? And basically what you're pointing out is an area that really needs that peace and will only find it when you're able to find the love that can embrace everything, you see, including discomfort. It
Yes.
doesn't mean that it's going to feel better. It just means that you're going to be okay with it because it's loved, you see? And so that'll be fine. The knot won't bother you. It won't be an irritant. It'll just be a knot. And as you perfect this, it probably will ease, you see, likely, but it won't matter to you because you've accepted it. So it doesn't matter whether it stays or goes. So it won't be difficult anymore. So just when you can, just in your waking state, be exactly as you are in your meditative state. Thoughts rise and they subside. Thoughts arise and they subside. When a thought arises and you cannot stop but engage with it, then watch that and watch how it works and love it just the way it is, okay? And you'll find that you'll be at peace even when there's discomfort. That's all.
Yeah. It's bingo. Yeah. Because what I became aware of, is that I'm really not, I can show compassion to other people more easily than I show compassion to myself. And that my natural inclination is immediately to sort of beat myself up or, berate myself or, make myself wrong or bad or whatever, when really things are coming up because they need to be loved and they're trying to get my attention.
Right.
And it takes as long as it takes, but I'm thank you for what you said.
Sure. And you know that judging the ego is just more ego.
I know, it's just so crazy. So crazy.
So don't be fooled. That's all. See it for what
Yeah.
it is. Just see it for what it is. And this is where you see where you should know. There's exactly what Alan was asking about. You know that I am with you. And at least I knew with my gurus, I knew that they saw all of it. They saw all of what I was. They saw even the shit I couldn't see. And they loved me anyway. Okay? So it can be done.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So just imitate what your gurus have given you as an example. And then eventually the differences will fade away.
Hallelujah.
I like the idea of spiritual bingo, though.
Yeah.
That was a winner.